All right, have you been hearing that meal prep can be not only costly, but mostly time consuming? Well, today I'm gonna show you a few of my tips and tricks that not only bring down your costs, but will definitely be time efficient. Coming up. What's going on? It's your dude, That Guy Health and BF Men's Physique Pro. Soon to step on my first NPC stage this March. And today I'm gonna show you some of my tips and tricks on how I meal prep, making it cost efficient and time efficient, all right? So it's the holidays, all of this stuff, boom, Rice Krispie treats, peach cobbler, can't have. So definitely gonna show you some of the chicken breasts, the ground beef, and some of the spinach I use, go over costs real quick. Then I'm actually gonna jump over to the stove, show you how I cook, prep, and then even do something that helps make it easier, digestible in my digestive system, all right? So we're gonna get over here to the refrigerator. I'm gonna pull this out. As you can see, I put a warning sign up when I'm on prep, don't touch my damn food. And I got a sign in here that says don't touch shit on this shelf, although for some reason, some people are very illiterate and they still do. So right here, I got chicken breast, all right? Boom, got a good thing of chicken breast. And usually I'll do beef, which you can see, 93.7 lean. Sometime I even go leaner than that. It just depends on what I need to do, where I am in my protocol, and how far I am from show. But today we're not gonna go over cooking the beef. We're gonna go over how to do the chicken breast, and that's the most important thing right now. However, I will do another episode going over some of those other things, as well as showing you how I shop for this stuff, which my wife does majority of that. So when I go out for the first time, it'll kind of be my first time because she takes care of a lot of it. All right, so boom, we're gonna go over here, get the pot. I like to use non-stick pot. You want a pot this big because the thing is to be time efficient. I want something where I can cut up all this chicken breast, stuff it in one pot, put it on the stove. And I know you're saying, well, what's the pot for? Well, we're gonna boil the chicken. That's a little bit more healthier, and on top of that, it will keep the chicken moist and very delicate. Then we will take 10 minutes and only baking it to get some of the seasonings attached, and I'm gonna show you how I'm gonna do that, okay? So let's go ahead, take this pot, get over here, get some water in here. Doesn't matter, hot water, cold water, because we're gonna put it on the stove anyway. You wanna fill it up to where it's about maybe 2 inches from the top, maybe 3, giving yourself a little room for boil over. So usually I'll go ahead and use hot water. That way I give myself a little head start. So by the time I put the pot on the stove and I start prepping the chicken, it should be at a boil by then. And at that point, I can go ahead and dump the chicken in and start on something else. So remember that all of this is for time efficiency, not so much taste and elaborate colors and all different type of meat choices. When you're doing something competitively and you really want to see the results, consistency is the key, and definitely single ingredient foods are the key. And that's what's going to also bring your costs down. Not trying to have 3 and 4 and 5 different choices of meats and colorful bell peppers and all this other stuff. That's what drives the price up as well. Not to mention consumes a lot of time. So now that we got that pretty full, and as you can come over here and see where the water level is, that's about good right there. You got to make room for the fact that when you put the chicken breast in there, it's going to take up displacement, all right? So I'll go ahead and crank this sucker on high. Come in here, get some of this seasoning salt. Put some of the seasoning salt in there. Then while I'm over here, I'll go ahead and take out some of the other seasonings that I want to use, which is roasted garlic pepper. We also have some Creole seasoning. And where is the all meat seasoning? Louisiana seasoning, all meat seasoning, and then I might pick, sometime I go ahead and put a little cayenne pepper on there, all right? Get some of that natural thermogenic stuff kicked up. And that's good enough for me. I don't want to put too much in there. Oh, and we'll need the olive oil, all right? Show you what we're gonna do with that. So right now I'm gonna get a knife. We're gonna crank this package open. You want a pretty good serrated blade. Let's see, something like this will do. And we're gonna get over here back to the sink, grab our bowl, put all of our chicken breasts in this bowl, cut it up, and I'm gonna show you what I'm gonna do. So first thing I wanna do is basically put it off in the sink, and I'm gonna trim off as much of the fat as I can, saving as much as the meat as I can. So once I start doing that, I'll let you get over here and kind of see what I'm doing. Move this rag out of the way so it doesn't obscure your view. So go ahead and come on in a little bit so you can see what's going on. So once I get the chicken breast out, boom, I see this fat right here. I want to get rid of some of that because that's something that I'm probably not going to be able to count totally for in my macros. So I will have to sacrifice some of the meat, tearing that off, throwing it back in the package. This right here, that's a pretty fatty piece. Not to mention that can also make it rough. So right there, that's about good. Cleaned up the chicken breast a little bit right there, all right? That's about how you want every piece to look. You'll get it over here, being careful not to touch too much stuff. You don't want salmonella. And I'll cut it in half, all right? Now I'm gonna do every piece like that, okay? I'm gonna make sure I get every piece. I can take or rip the fat off. If I can't rip it off, then I'll cut it off. Like I said, I'm willing to sacrifice some of that meat, and that is fine with me. Remember, we're not trying to be pretty here, trying to get what we mainly need and then keep it rolling so we can do so many other things in our day. You know, I got content to create, we got kids, we got to try to spend time with each other, I got to work out, I got to train clients. And that's another thing. If you're looking for online coaching, you can go over to www.thatguyhealth.com, sign up for one of my plans. This is something that I will prepare for you in the platinum plan. I will show you what to eat, tell you what times you need to eat, the macros to try to help you reach your fitness goals, on top of give you a training protocol that comes with instructional videos in my app. So you can go over there and check that out. I'll be more than happy to help you, as I've helped other clients reach many of their goals, okay? There, and we're almost done. We have 2 more pieces after this one. Oh, this one's pretty good. Didn't have too much fat on it. Bam. Got one more coming up after this one. Here, I'm gonna pull this off. Oh, it's pretty tough, so we'll go ahead and have to cut that. Look it over, that's pretty good. There we go. And this is the last piece. Look at that, that's fatty. We don't want that. Cut that off. Right there, that's not too bad. Most of this might melt off as it cooks in that hot boiling water. And not to mention, boiling it is another good way where majority of the chicken will cook through evenly. So let's wash my hands. Always wash your hands when dealing with chicken, eggs, anything like that. Try to keep your area clean. You don't want to get sick. And usually what I'll do is I'll wash the bottle like that again once I'm done, just to keep the bottle from being contaminated as well. And I'll grab me a towel in a second that I'll have dedicated to just this session. So bam, we got our chicken right there. Now some of this is gonna shrink up as it cooks, so don't worry about the size as long as you've already cut it in half, all right? So let me give me a towel. So okay, this water hasn't come to a boil yet, which is the most important thing, because that's gonna be majority of our time right there, the chicken boiling. So what I'm gonna do is we're gonna take a short little second until this water boils, and then we're gonna bring it right back and start here as we put it in, start prepping some of the other things. You're gonna see how fast that's gonna cook. Okay, so the water's come to a boil, so take a look. This is about the boil you want before you drop that chicken in, all right? You want a good boil like that, all right? You don't want to simmering bubbles, you want that thing piping ready. Okay, so we're gonna get back over here. Like I said, we got our chicken in our bowl right here. I got the tongues, that way I don't have to continuously wash my hand. I'll probably be using these from here on out. So we're gonna get ready to put all of this chicken into this pot, let it boil up, then we'll make some other steps necessary that we'll use after we get the chicken out. And as the chicken's in here, you wanna kinda toss it and roll them around, because the chicken on the bottom will cook a lot faster than the chicken on top. So occasionally you wanna get in there and stir them around so you can kinda get an even cook around all of them. And so let's go ahead and get these things dumped off in here. So you want to be careful when you start dumping them in here. You don't want to just drop them and then end up burning yourself looking like Freddy Krueger. So I'm going to grab some with the tongs. Probably better to sit the bowl down. I'm going to go ahead, boom, drop, no splash. That's what you want to do. Get all these pieces in here. And as you see, the water and the boil kind of calm down as you get more material in there. It's taking up some of the heat. That's okay. Try to section off each piece. Don't try to drop it right on top of each other. And if you come in here, you can already see some of the chicken's already started to turn white. And that's an indication that the chicken is already cooking, all right? It's white already. So you want that type of color all the way through. And I'll cut open a few pieces to show you how I determine if the chicken's pretty much cooked all the way through, not to include the rest time that we'll leave it in there for a little while after we turn the burner off. So this is part of the time efficiency part. We're dumping a whole batch of chicken breast in here at one time, and it's gonna cook at one time, and that's where we save time, and we can utilize that to do other things like work out, spend time with the family, all that good type of stuff. Bam. All right, so now that that's in there, gonna wait for that to come to a good boil again. So while that's happening, we're gonna go ahead and get these baking dishes out, because remember what I said, we're gonna boil the chicken, which is gonna keep it nice and moist, because all that water's in there is gonna keep it nice and juicy. Then we're gonna bake it for some time, all right? So while we're waiting on that, we can also go ahead and preheat the oven to 350 is good. We're not gonna leave it in there long, at least this way when the chicken comes out. We can go ahead, prep it in here, slide it right in, boom, it's steady moving, okay? So this is where we'll take the olive oil. You have your baking dishes, glass baking dishes is what I use. I'll go ahead and drizzle the bottom with olive oil, you know, considerably. Healthy fat, of course, but this is what we're gonna use to help coat that chicken and act as a heat barrier once it's in there baking, because we don't want to be counterproductive, burn the chicken, it get too dry. So we'll put that in there, it'll mix with some of the water in there, and that'll help give us a nice little barrier between the heat, the dish, and the actual chicken pieces, which should help it keep from burning and drying out, all right? Now remember, we're only gonna keep it in there 10 minutes just to help coat and bake the seasoning on the chicken, and then we're gonna go from there to another process that I'm gonna show you that's gonna help you not only condense the chicken when you prep it, but also it'll make it easier for your digestive system, all right? It's gonna be kind of, you know, you may be babyish, maybe, you know, puree type, but we'll get into that. So while that's happening, go ahead, you get your seasonings. Like I said, we're gonna use roasted garlic and herb. We got a meat seasoning. We're gonna use some more of this seasoning salt. We're gonna get that cayenne, and we got the Creole, okay? Now, when I get ready to season this stuff up, you'll see I'm not gonna be trying to teaspoon, tablespoon. I'm just gonna do a nice little cover, boom, flip a nice little cover. We're not trying to be gourmet chefs here. We just want a little something to add some taste to that chicken and then go in there. But as you also see, I don't have anything creamy up here. I don't have ranch, I don't have big marinades or any of that other stuff, because that adds fat. Seasoning, yes, it's gonna be in the sodium realm, but that's okay, because usually when you're working out, you're gonna need sodium and electrolytes anyway. So I'm not too strict on that, although you don't wanna overly salt something, okay? And that's why you don't really see any iodized type salt products up here. Even if I was using sea salt or Malaysian sea salt, that would be cool, but I'm just gonna stick with little herbs, okay? All right, so listen, we got it good. Now, this is a good indication that the chicken is probably close to almost being done. If you come in here, you'll see a nice white kind of foam building on top. That's a lot of the fat that's pretty much being cooked off of the chicken, accumulating on top. And you also see we got another good steady boil going on. So that tells you that the heat's rise, that now the displacement of the chicken and the heat soaker of the chicken has been overcome by the heat of the stove, which just give us a good temperature to continuously cook that chicken. One tip, don't put a top on top of this pot while cooking this. There's no need. We're not trying to keep in moisture. We're cooking in water. Only thing that's gonna happen is it's gonna boil over and get on your stove, and I don't know if it might cause a fire. I doubt it's fire because of water, but it definitely will make a lot of crackling noises and a mess. So we wanna avoid that. So we're gonna cycle this chicken again. Chicken that's on the bottom, try to bring it on top. Chicken that's on the top, try to get it on the bottom. Just basically to try to get the chicken to cook evenly. Be very careful not to put your hand on the pot and burn yourself. And I'm gonna get another one of these pieces of chicken. All right, got a new one right there. Look at that thing, nice and white. Look, still nice and tender. And let's see, we might have right there. This chicken still needs to cook right here. So boom, we'll drop that one back in there. See what we got right here. Oh, that chicken up, almost pretty much done. Let's grab us another piece. Oh yeah, that one's pretty much done. So we got a little bit more time and it should be pretty much done after that. And then we're gonna pull this chicken out and get to the rest of it. Check a piece of this chicken. Got an uncut piece right here that we haven't checked. Boom, now look at that. See that? It's white on the inside. That's completely cooked chicken. So let's get one more piece just to be sure. Oh, there goes a good one. Oh, caught it. Oh, caught it. And let's see. Oh yeah, that's still, look at that. So that's good. So now what we'll do is go ahead, cut the burner off. Take this over here. Now this earlier was what we had the chicken in. I'll scoot these Rice Krispie treats to the side over here. Let's just put these in the background because we're not doing any of that. Take some paper towel, good amount, fold it up, line this up with it. Another one, line this up. Now what we're gonna do here is we're just gonna try to get some of that water off of the chicken. That way when we put it in here, we don't have an excessive amount of water because the chicken's already gonna be filled with water. It's gonna be very moist, so we don't need this knife anymore. So I'll tell you what, let's go ahead and get this knife out the way. Toss that in there, we don't need it. So I have found that cooking a whole pack, you'll need a baking pan about this size, and that'll pretty much get you the room you need to slide everything in here. We already preheated our oven, that went off earlier, so it's already sitting at 350. So now I'm just gonna pull some of this chicken out, dump it in here, shake it off a little bit. I didn't shake that first piece off, I should have. Get some of, do as much due diligence as you can to get some of that water off. Remember the water's still hot, so you dropping this chicken like a basketball, like I am, could burn your feet. That's why I keep my feet over here tapping a few times. And boom, so that's enough for right now. I'm gonna bring it over. All right, so look at that. Chicken nice, white, steaming. Got it in that paper towel. So now what I'm gonna do, put it in here, mix it around in the olive oil, which is a healthy fat. Just do it like that. And what that olive oil, mix it around in there, like I said, it helps keep it lubricated, a nice barrier, but also it's gonna allow the seasoning to stick better to the chicken. Just pick that up, boom, boom. All right, so I'm gonna put a little bit more olive oil in here. Shake it around. Now comes the good fun part, putting some of the seasoning on. So I don't care what I put on first. I'm just gonna sprinkle some of that on there, keep this open. Take my cayenne, sprinkle some of that on there. I'm not trying to be Chef Ramsay, although he's like my favorite chef. He's our favorite chef. I want to see it. No, it's not liberal enough. I want to, boom, take some of that, put that on there. I got this nice little Creole seasoning. Shake that on there. Now that's just one side of the chicken. So now I'm gonna take it, flip it. See, that side needs to get seasoned. All right, because some of this is gonna come off. So you wanna try to give yourself a little cushion so you can keep some of that flavor in there. Now, come back again. Season the salt, I'm gonna leave out this time. Just gonna go with some of the other herbs and seasoning. Like I said, you don't want it too salty. Right there. Cayenne, I can definitely go again. Cayenne is good. It's a natural thermogenic type, so think about some of the other things that claim thermogenics like fat burners. And I'm pretty sure if you look at some, I've even looked at some of the fat burning pre-workouts, and surprisingly, I've seen cayenne be an ingredient. So just a little pro tip right there. Now we're gonna go ahead and get this baking dish filled up. Let me get this olive oil out of the way so you can see that. So we'll hit this side up a little bit. Like I said, once I do the seasoning salt, I don't really go back to it again. I kind of just stay with the other herbs. Like I said, I don't want it too salty, and that's good enough for me. So now, come on over, we're gonna get this in the oven. Now, remember your baking pans aren't hot, so it's okay. If you're not sure, then you definitely can put some handwear on, slide them in like that. Right there. Set your timer. 10 minutes. Boom. So now what you can do is do some due diligence to see if there is anything in here that you didn't scoop up. Boom. Get your strainer. Come over. Put it on this side where the opposite of the chicken pack. At this point in time, this type of pot does pretty much translate the heat through the handles. Get you a towel so you can grab these handles up. Take it over here very carefully because I want all my gains, I want all my chicken. And I'm gonna pour this into the strainer to try to catch anything that I didn't get. Usually I do pretty good. If it's like real small scraps, I don't even worry about trying to pull it out. Something like that, look, we got majority of our chicken. That's nothing. We're not gonna even worry about it, all right? Even a little bit in here, that ain't nothing, we're good. So we got majority of our gains in the baking dish, in the oven. 10 minutes, 9 minutes left. We're gonna get this out and then we're finishing up. Bam. So right now our chicken is done, 10 minutes. We're gonna pull these baking dishes out, bring this to a close. There we go. Set them up there on top of the stove. At that point, your seasoning should be crusted onto the chicken a little bit, which is all we want to do. We're not trying, like I said, you don't want to dry the chicken out of us. That's counterproductive to the point why we boiled it in the beginning. So this dish right here is what's going to hold all of our gains. This right here is a very vital piece of equipment. This is a food processor. I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with that. This is the critical part where I get the chicken and everything to be more digestible, definitely more efficient to eat. Big pieces of chicken take a lot of time to chew. I don't like to spend a lot of time chewing. I need to get these numbers in, get these gains in, boom, keep moving, all right? So we got our tongs. We can go ahead, you know, basically, see that? We're gonna take the chicken, mix it around, go ahead and put it in this bowl right now. We'll bring the other baking dishes over as it cools off. And this right here should be enough. So what we're gonna do is put these pieces of chicken in here. Actually, I'm probably gonna get a rack and bring the baking dishes over so I can keep everything in front of me so I don't hide anything from you all. All right, so let's do that. Let's go ahead and get one of these racks. It's a heating rack right here. Put it on top so you don't ruin your surfaces. So we'll go ahead, grab the baking dishes, sit them on the heat rack or cooling rack, whatever you want to call them. And then bam, so we turn this oven off so we don't unnecessary heat. So bam, we got that in there. I think we could get one more piece in here. Now you don't want to overload the food processor because the chicken as it gets mixed up will build up and you'll see that. Leave ourselves enough room to get it out of there, pour it in. Close the top. Stop it, do the pulse, some of the bigger pieces. And there we go, look at that. To that, from this. Takes a lot of time to chew, takes less time to chew. Let's get this out of here. Go ahead and, I'll just use the same spoon. Lift this off, hold the centerpiece, and dump away. Scoop, scoop, scoop. All right, down. And we probably will be able to do maybe 1, 2 more loads and we should be done. I think I might be able to get all of this in here without compromising the food processor. Yep, definitely, we're good. It's a pretty nice piece. Once again, I want to get some of this seasoning, scoop it up, put it in there, especially some of this chicken. Definitely want to get that. I don't want to lose my gains. This, that in there, bam. Done with that. Top on again. Boom. Pulse it. Pulsing helps to get that. If there are any big pieces in there, it helps to bring them to the bottom so you can get them minced up. And even if they get past, they're not gonna be complete big whole pieces. Take that off. And hold that and dump. And there we go. Now on the last dump, you can allow to let the blade come out. That way you can go ahead and get underneath it, get any chicken that's right there, throw it in there, and there you go. A nice big bowl, 4-quart bowl of straight boiled, slightly baked chicken breast, real tender, nice and little flavorful. If you're at your point in your prep or at your point in your nutrition where you can have rice, mix it with rice, mix it with potatoes, just have it by itself. It's especially beneficial to have it in this form by itself because it's tender. It's a little easier to chew. You can get 8-10 ounces of that down real quick. What I will do is take this whole thing, will last me a week, maybe even a little longer. Take this whole bowl, throw it back here on my don't touch shit on this shelf, like Elf on the shelf, but don't touch shit on my shelf. And then you have that, boom, and I'll scoop out of it every day as I meal prep. All right, I'm not gonna sit out all these individual containers like you see people spread out. That shit's just to look pretty. This is efficient and really works, all right? So that's what we're gonna do. I hope you learned a lot from this. I hope you can apply it. I definitely think you should try it. If you do try it, definitely leave a comment down below. Don't forget to check out the Instagram. I try to make posts on there letting people know what kind of videos I'll post to the YouTube channel. Plus, I got workouts on there. Don't forget, if you need online coaching, you can go to www.thatguyhealth.com. Pick you a plan. We can start your gains today. Depending on the plan you get, you could get a full nutrition reference protocol, macros, training plan, training videos. I got a lot of tools on there that will help you reach your goals. So you know what I always say about this time. Be safe, let's build together, and peace.